everything is fine, and something still feels off.
That sentence right there, that is the one I could not say in English for 2 years because I did not have it. I had, I am stressed. I had, things are difficult. But that specific thing, everything is technically fine and something still feels fundamentally off, I did not have those words.
And this is the conversation most English learners are living but cannot have. Because the English of change, of life being in motion, of the ground shifting slightly under everything, of not knowing what comes next even when right now is okay. That vocabulary does not get taught.
And today, we teach it. 5 things nobody tells you about living through change, and the specific English for every single one. 15 minutes. Let's go. I'm Albert.
I'm Mary. LeapTalk English, B2 level, real conversation. Today, 5 things nobody tells you about living through change, and the English to say all of it. Word tour at the end, 8 words. Stay for thing 3. It is the one that most people are feeling right now and cannot name, and naming it changes everything. Comment right now. Is something changing in your life right now? A job, a place, a relationship, a version of yourself? Tell us in the comments. You do not have to say what, just yes or no. We want to know how many of us are in it together.
Let's go. Thing 1.
Thing 3. Nobody tells you about the grief inside change.
Thing 3, and this is the one most people are feeling and cannot name because it does not feel like it should have a name, because nothing bad has happened, because the change is even good, and there is still a grief in it.
Grief for what?
For what was, even if what was not perfect, even if you chose to leave it, even if you are genuinely glad to be moving towards something new. The version of your life you are leaving, the routine, the familiar faces, the cafe you went to, the walk you knew, the version of yourself that belonged to that chapter, that deserves a goodbye. And most people never say it.
And in English, the word for this is bittersweet.
Already covered in the feelings episode, but worth returning to here in the specific context of change, because bittersweet is the exact word for the grief inside a positive change. Not sad, not happy, both simultaneously.
And the phrases around it.
I miss it even though I am glad I moved on. The paradox statement. Glad to have moved on, missing what was left, both at once.
I am mourning something that was not even bad. The specific grief of leaving something that was good, or at least okay, for something that might be better. Mourning, the process of grieving a loss. You can mourn something you chose to leave.
I did not expect to feel this way about it. The surprise of the grief, because most people don't expect to grieve a good change, and when the grief arrives, it is confusing, and the confusion makes it harder.
It is okay to miss what was, even while you want what is coming. The permission sentence. Both things are allowed, the missing and the wanting, simultaneously, without one canceling the other.
And the phrase for giving the old chapter a proper goodbye, I am letting myself grieve it.
I am letting myself grieve it. Not suppressing, not rushing, not telling yourself you should only feel glad because you chose this. Letting the grief be there. In English, letting myself is the reflexive permission structure. You are giving yourself the right to feel the thing that is real.
To the listener, I miss it even though I am glad I moved on. I am mourning something that was not even bad. I did not expect to feel this way about it. It is okay to miss what was even while you want what is coming. I am letting myself grieve it. 5 phrases for the grief inside change. Say them. They are true. And they are allowed.
Stay. Thing 4. The English for when you do not know what comes next. Thing 4. And this one is about the not knowing, the uncertainty, the gap between what was and what will be, where the answer to what is next is genuinely, I do not know yet.
And in English, we have been trained to have an answer. What are your plans? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What is next for you? And the cultural expectation, the pressure embedded in those questions, is to have a plan, a clear, linear, confident plan.
And sometimes the most honest answer is, I am in the middle of figuring it out.
The English for not knowing without shame.
I am in a period of uncertainty, naming the state precisely and without drama. Uncertainty is not failure, it is a condition. I am in a period of uncertainty says, this is a time of not knowing. It implies it is temporary. It does not imply it is a problem.
I am taking it one step at a time. Already covered in previous episodes, worth returning to here because in the context of change and uncertainty, it takes on its fullest meaning, one step at a time, not the whole path, just the next step.
I am trusting the process, one of the most used and most genuine phrases in contemporary English for choosing to have faith in an unfolding situation. Trusting the process means believing that the uncertainty is part of how good things develop, not a sign that they will not.
I do not have it all figured out yet, and I am okay with that. The honest admission plus the self-permission. I do not have it figured out. Honest. Yet implies it will come. I am okay with that. The peace with the not knowing. Very natural, very brave in a culture that rewards having answers.
And the most important sentence about uncertainty in English, 6 words.
Not knowing is not the same as lost.
Not knowing is not the same as lost. The distinction that changes everything. You cannot know and still be moving. You can be uncertain and still be okay. Not knowing is a condition. Lost is a state of having no direction. And these are completely different things.
To the listener, I am in a period of uncertainty, one step at a time, trusting the process. I do not have it figured out yet, and I am okay with that. Not knowing is not the same as lost. 5 phrases for living in the not knowing. All honest, all real, all better than pretending you have the answer.
Last thing, and it is the one that holds all 5 together.
Thing 5. Nobody tells you that you have done this before.
Thing 5. And this one I want to say simply, because it does not need many words.
Go.
You have been through change before. Not this change, not this specific uncertainty, but change. And you found your feet, and you adjusted. And the thing that felt impossible to navigate became eventually the chapter you look back on and say, that was when things shifted. That was when I became the version of myself I am now.
And in English, the phrase is for remembering that.
I have been here before. Not this exact place, but here, in uncertainty, in transition, in the space between chapters. I have been here before and got through. The evidence is in the living.
I know I can do hard things. One of the most powerful sentences in English for the moment you doubt your own capacity. I know I can do hard things. Not because nothing is hard, because I have already done them. This is not the first.
I have got through harder than this. The comparative that puts the current difficulty in context, not dismissing it, contextualizing it. I have got through harder than this, and this is difficult, and it is not the hardest thing I have ever navigated.
I trust myself to figure it out. Not certainty about the outcome, Certainty about yourself. I trust myself to figure it out. I do not know what comes next. I know I will find a way through it. Those are two different knowings, and the second one is the more important.
And the sentence that closes every episode of change, every transition, every uncertainty, every bittersweet goodbye to a chapter that was good. One sentence, 12 words.
I have not arrived yet, but I am exactly where I need to be.
I have not arrived yet, but I am exactly where I need to be. Not the destination, not the plan, not the answer to what comes next. Just here, in the middle, in the transition, in the not yet, exactly where the next chapter is built from.
To the listener, I have been here before. I know I can do hard things. I have got through harder than this. I trust myself to figure it out. I have not arrived yet, but I am exactly where I need to be. 5 phrases for remembering what you already know. Say them. They are true, and they have always been true.
5 things. Change is exhausting even when it is good. Fear and excitement feel the same. There is grief inside change. Not knowing is a place you can live in, and you have done this before.
And the thing running through all 5, the same thing, is that every single feeling that comes with change is valid. The exhaustion, the mixed feeling, the grief, the uncertainty, the fear and excitement that cannot be told apart. All of it is valid. All of it has a name now. And named things, in English, in any language, are easier to carry.
You have the words now.
And the words, always, make it slightly more possible.
Word tour. First word. Transition. A transition is the process of changing from one state or condition to another, not the before, not the after, the movement between. Transition is the specific word for the period of change itself, and it is one of the most important words in the vocabulary of change because it names the middle rather than only the ends.
For example, she was in transition, not who she had been, not yet who she was becoming, and learning to live in the middle of that, to be in the transition rather than rushing through it, was the most difficult and most important thing she did that year. Repeat. Transition.
Transition.
Next, bittersweet. Already covered and worth cementing here. Bittersweet describes an experience that is simultaneously pleasant and painful, containing both positive and negative elements that cannot be separated. The grief inside a positive change is bittersweet. The joy of a new beginning that requires leaving something good is bittersweet, one of the most useful and most honest words in the English emotional vocabulary.
For example, the last day was bittersweet in a way she had not fully anticipated. She had been ready to leave, had wanted to leave, and the wanting did not remove the sadness of the actual going. Both things, at the same time. Repeat. Bittersweet.
Bittersweet.
Next, mourn. To mourn means to feel or express grief, typically for a loss. In the context of change, you can mourn something you chose to leave. You can mourn a version of your life that was not even bad. Mourning is not only for death or disaster. It is the process of acknowledging and feeling a loss of any kind.
For example, he had not expected to mourn the old job. He had chosen to leave it, had been right to leave it, and still found himself grieving the version of himself that had belonged to it. Mourning something you chose is one of the more complicated emotional experiences of adult life. Repeat. Mourn.
Mourn.
Next, reframe. To reframe means to present something in a different way, to look at the same situation from a new angle that changes its meaning or impact. Reframe the anxiety as excitement is a reframe. The physical sensation is the same. The interpretation is changed.
For example, the reframe was small but significant. Instead of, I am terrified about this presentation, she said, I am excited about this presentation. Same body, same sensations, different story being told. And the story changed how she walked into the room.
Repeat. Reframe.
Reframe.
Next, uncertainty. Uncertainty means the state of not knowing, not having sure knowledge of what will happen or what is true. In the context of change, uncertainty is not the opposite of confidence. It is the honest condition of anyone in the middle of something unresolved. I am in a period of uncertainty names it without shame. For example, the uncertainty was not comfortable. She would not have chosen it if she could have avoided it. But she had learned over several chapters of change that uncertainty was temporary, and that discomfort with it was not evidence of weakness. It was evidence of being human and in the middle of something. Repeat. Uncertainty.
Uncertainty. Next, grieve. To grieve means to feel intense sorrow, to undergo the process of mourning a loss. Already covered with mourn, worth having both words because they are slightly different. Mourn is the overall state. Grieve is the active process. I am grieving it is the ongoing, present, active form of loss. For example, She was grieving the life she had left behind, not dramatically, not publicly, but quietly, in the small moments when the old familiar things came to mind, and she remembered that they were no longer hers. Grieving, like adjusting, takes however long it takes. Repeat. Grieve.
Grieve. Next, navigate. To navigate means to find a way through a complex or difficult situation. Already covered in the mental health episode, worth returning to here because in the context of change, navigation is the perfect word. You are not lost. You are navigating. Active. Directional. Moving through something with whatever tools and knowledge you have available. For example, she was navigating the change. Not smoothly, not without wrong turns, but moving. And moving, she had learned, was the only way through. Standing still and waiting for clarity that did not yet exist was not stillness. It was just a different kind of lost. Repeat. Navigate.
Navigate.
And our final word, trust. To trust means to believe in the reliability or truth of someone or something. I trust myself to figure it out. Is self-trust. Confidence not in the outcome, but in your own capacity to navigate toward it. Self-trust is built through evidence, through every hard thing you have already figured out. And the evidence is always there, if you look.
For example, the self-trust had been built slowly and without her noticing, through every difficult thing she had navigated, every change she had come through, every moment of not knowing she had survived and emerged from. By the time she needed it most, it was there. It had been building all along. Repeat. Trust. Trust.
8 words. Transition, bittersweet, mourn, reframe, uncertainty, grieve, navigate, trust. Every one is a word for a place you have already been or are in right now, and every one makes that place slightly more inhabitable because it has a name. This week, one practice. If something is changing in your life right now, find one phrase from today that is true for you. Just one. I am still adjusting. It is good and it is a lot. I am letting myself grieve it. Not knowing is not the same as lost. I have not arrived yet, but I am exactly where I need to be. Say it out loud, in English, even just once, to yourself. Because named things are easier to carry. And you, whatever you are carrying right now, deserve to carry it with the right words.
I'm Albert.
I'm Mary. LeapTalk English. Thank you for listening and for being in whatever you are in and showing up here anyway. See you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.